with them or whatever.
Yeah, like the TikTok shops and stuff.
Yeah.
I really like this color.
And,
It just
look,
screams.
this is why I like it.
You know what? I almost bought it.
Use my link.
Send it to me.
I will.
This influencer
They're
named
bomb.
Aaliyah's face has that exact one in the exact color. So I was like, not the Aaliyah cup.
That's why I like, because they're better than what are the ones that went viral?
Stanleys,
I
child.
hate the Stanleys.
Well, the Stanleys
These
are for
so
if
much
your car
better.
blows up. That's why they went viral. Because somebody's car blew up and the only thing that was left was her Stanley cup.
Yeah, but you can't, they leak everywhere.
Yeah, but if there's an apocalypse, your cup will
Well,
still be there.
this one might still be there. We don't
It's
know
never
that.
been tested.
Well, let's test it.
Imagine your car blows up and you unintentionally give the Stanley Cup people a whole new fucking
Right.
breath of fresh air.
Right? Can you imagine?
Thanks for checking on me. I'm fine too, bitches. Oh my God. Oh wait, did we do the thumb? I wasn't paying attention to you. Oh, the show has started. Okay. Hey guys, I don't know how much y'all just heard. I'm up here talking shit about Stanley Cups.
Hi, Georgia.
Right. No free commercials. 'Cause we're trying to get paid.
Yeah, you're right.
You guys, do you hear that? That sound is us being in a proper studio.
Yay.
And sounding like regular people. Hold on, Katie. Which one is our mic when we want to look into the mic? Which ones are not our mics, our cameras? So, okay, perfect. I just want to make sure because there's so much to talk about. Really, Monique?
Sorry.
There's so much to talk about. For those of you who listen to the last 2 episodes with us.
Yeah.
Thank you for sticking around for that social experiment.
Yeah.
Again, the perfectionist in me, episode number 88 sounded like trash. And looked even worse, which is why it was only audio. Episode 89 was us like 2 aunties trying to figure out, does this mic work? Girl, cough real, like it was, which made me sad because even though we had sound issues, it was a great conversation.
Yeah, it was. It was so much fun.
I was like, the conversation's so good, fucking equipment. And so the fact that you just happened to be in town
I know.
for us to do episode 90.
I know.
Look at God.
Look at that.
I just found some money and
I
said, girl,
know.
if you're gonna be in town, I'm gonna find the money and come to the studio.
Oh, and here I am.
Damn, my phone bill. There you are. I will say this. This is a particularly heavy week. And for anybody who's wondering, today's date, we're taping this on July 3rd. The day before alleged white people's Independence Day. And because of that, that's what I call it in my head.
I mean, sure,
we were
yeah.
still slaves on July 3rd, so I don't have nothing to celebrate.
Yeah.
But like, and did we steal your land by then? Or was this still considered Mexico?
I think this was still considered
I'm gonna
Mexico.
every episode I want to tell everybody that we are living in Mexico stolen land because I just feel like being a troll.
I think so. I think
I've
it
said
was,
it every
to be honest.
episode at this
Yeah, I
point.
think so too.
There's certain things like this used to be Mexico. Fuck Nancy Reagan's ghost. There are a couple of things I just love to say over and over again. That bitch. If y'all ever want to know how much I hate Nancy Reagan and why I hate Nancy Reagan, let me know in the comments and we'll do an episode on why she is a scourge in the Black and brown communities. Anyways, back to the show. If you haven't already run away, this is a progressive show. Our friend Monique Nevels is back. Yay! Monique is so exciting. Can you believe that you just called? What did you call me for that day? You called me because so we could talk about something that I posted on Thursday, I think. The day that I said, hey, the podcast is coming back.
Was it Love Island?
I think you called me on a whim to talk about Love Island.
Yeah, I think it was.
And
Or
I
just
said-
like check in.
And I said, girl, this is crazy. I just decided a couple of hours ago, fuck it, I'm just bringing the pod back.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk about Love Island.
Yeah.
Do you have time, an hour to hop on?
Yeah.
Now look at us.
Look at us. Here
That was
we are.
God, by the way.
Wasn't it?
Do you ever get freaked out when there are those moments where something happens so organically? You're like, I literally couldn't have planned it, but oh my God, God was using me?
No, I think it's it's just meant to be. It's just it's meant
It
to
still
be.
freaks me out though.
Yeah.
It still freaks me out.
Yeah.
You know what else freaks me out? When people come to me for readings and then they come back 6 months later and tell me how right I was and I have no idea what they're talking about. And then they tell me what I said. I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing.
I forgot I said that. You always say that. I have no idea what I said. I said that? I said that? You always say that.
I'd be so impressed and simultaneously confused. And one of the things I was telling Bridget about is, and I think this is something that most creatives who are spiritual in any sense can attest to, sometimes you create or bring something into the world and you're very cognizant that it came through you but not from you. Does that ever happen to you?
Yes.
I'm sure that's what being a mother feels like.
Yeah,
but does
for
that happen to
sure.
you? You're like, that was a dope thing that I did, but I feel like that was just me being a vessel for whatever just happened.
Yeah.
I love those moments. I think creation of any sort makes you feel like, oh my God, God's talking to me.
Yeah.
You still like me?
Yeah.
Now here's the thing that's tricky about being a creator though. Everybody doesn't want to be a creator. They want to be a content creator now. And it's tricky when you're watching someone who you can tell, and tell me if you can see this. There was a young lady that I saw on TikTok today. She was really excited about going viral. And that's something I get it. When you go viral, it's always fun. And I feel like just the same way Andy Warhol said, we're all gonna have 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
I don't know a single person who hasn't gone viral at least once or twice.
Right.
So it's like it's democratic.
Right.
But there was something about the way she celebrated it where it felt like she didn't care about the content or the message. She was just happy to go viral. And have you ever been able to see the difference between somebody who happens to do something they love and it goes viral versus someone who only cares about going viral? Am I wrong for thinking that tastes different?
No, because it absolutely...
It gave me the ick.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of ties back into Love Island.
We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
After Hot Topics.
Yeah.
But why do you think that is? Why do you think we get the ick when someone only cares about popularity and not about their actual craft?
Because it shows you where we are as a society, that we only care about being famous. We don't care about what we're actually doing.
Yeah.
And that's why it gives us the ick, because we actually care. I mean, it's the same thing about why people fall in love with being actors.
Yeah.
Right? Like some actors actually love the craft.
Thespians.
Yeah, like they love being actors. They love being on stage. They love the craft of acting. They don't love the fame. They just love acting. And it's
even if you like the fame, like the acting too, please.
Yeah, right. But now everyone just wants that, I want to be famous.
Yeah.
No, like there's people who still love the craft. And that's kind of like that same thing.
And here's the thing too. She's the kind of woman I would have really rooted for. She's a Latina who's a mother of like 3 and has a loving husband. It was everything that I'm the demo that was supposed to see.
Yeah.
I see why the algorithm thought I'd want to see her.
Yeah.
But as I went through her page, I was like, you're just this makes me a little sad.
Yeah.
And what made me sadder was there was one video she had where she and her husband found out that they were about to have triplets. And then the caption said, before you congratulate me, watch to the end. And so I was like, okay, now I have to watch to the end. That's the smart, because now you've got me to watch the entire video.
The hook.
The running time. And then, so I'm watching her celebrate her triplets. And at the end, like the last 30 seconds, she's like, oh, by the way, they died. And there's like a melodramatic Sarah McLachlan voiceover. And I was like, girl.
Not Sarah McLachlan.
Girl, did you just try to monetize your dead babies?
But you watched all the way through, so she made her $1.50 off of you.
That's worth monetizing your dead. Okay, you know what? We're not gonna call this episode monetizing dead babies, but that is dark. Monique,
That's so sad.
I wanted to report her. Like I want Monique to congratulate, report her. Like, yeah, this is hate speech. Speaking of hate speech, I got a lot of spicy messages yesterday because of an autistic video that I posted, where Essence had posted something that said 183 days behind us and 183 days ahead of us, and my brain immediately got angry. Like, that's not how 365 works, because 183 plus 183 is not 365. What the fuck are you talking about, Essence? So I had a small tism. For those of you who don't know what a tism is, it's when my autistic brain focuses on something that's wrong and won't let it go. So I added Essence, at Essence. I hit them up and I was like, hey, so check it. 183 plus 183 is not 365. I even Googled to make sure it wasn't a leap year, and I just didn't miss it. I missed a lot lately. It's not a leap year. So in the middle of me going off on Essence for not knowing how to count, and I know what happened. Somebody probably had it in the tuck from last year and reposted the meme, not realizing, hey, those numbers only work for leap years, babes.
Right.
So then I'm just like, okay, Blue, calm down. And I hit up my friends like, hey guys, what the fuck? Essence can't count. No offense to Essence. Feel free to hire me. I can count for you. But then as I'm talking to my friend about it, she was like, yo, that's so crazy. Speaking of the year, like, it's 2025. Like, just yesterday, it was 2000. Next thing we know, it's going to be 2050.
Right.
When she said that, my brain did another tism. Because half of 365 is 182.5, which means at exactly noon yesterday, follow me here, you're going to feel high. Between the year 2000 and the year 2050, in her joke, 2025 is the midpoint.
Right.
July 2nd is the midpoint of the midpoint.
Right.
Which means every day since yesterday, we're now closer to 2050
Right.
than we are to the year 2000.
Right.
We are closer to 2050 than we are to the year 2000. We're fossils. I felt 112 when that hit me. People were like, Blue, this is hate speech. You fucked up my morning. What the fuck is wrong? I'm autistic too, and I didn't need this vibe. People started cussing me out. How does it feel realizing that the early 2000s are that far away?
Well, I really came here today to tell you Fuck you. Why the fuck? No, I'm just.
I got so much hate mail. I said it to my sister. She called me yelling at me. Like, why would you send me
why
that?
would you do that to us?
That's just math.
We don't, but like, we don't need to know that.
The 2000s.
We know.
We're 20 years ago.
But the 70s were only 10 years ago, 30 years ago.
Well,
the 70s were only 30 years ago.
to me, 20 years ago means the 90s.
Yeah, the 20 years ago were only the 90s.
Monique, we were wearing belts in the middle of our shirts for no reason and wearing office clothes to the club 20 years ago.
That's crazy. You know what's even crazier?
I feel like Beelzebub.
You know what's even crazier? Me and my husband talked about this like 2 nights ago. July 25th of this year, I would be retiring from the Navy.
Bitch.
Like, that's scary.
I'll start calling you Father Christmas.
Okay, first of all.
Yo, bitch.
You
look good. Thank you. You look good for 112.
Thank you. But yeah, we would be retiring.
That's wild.
That's wild. Like, where? How? What? 20 years.
But it also makes you realize how crazy we were when we were looking at our elders.
Yeah.
They were making shit up.
Time goes by so fast, like in a blink of an eye. Like, it goes, we're just like, yeah, right. Be quiet. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. But no, they did.
So we all feel like big little kids who are now in charge.
Yeah, like how?
Which is why there's no 4th of July barbecues, because we're waiting for our uncles and aunties, but we're the uncles and aunties.
We really are.
Okay, speaking of time, though, and the early 2000s, Nelly and Ashanti. Like that segue? I'm going to set the scene real quick, very quickly, because I want to hear your thoughts immediately as a married woman. Nelly gave 10 years of her life. I'm sorry if Nelly gave her, because he's a bitch. Sorry, I need to stop calling men bitches. Ever since Love Island, I've been calling men. I don't ever say that, but Taylor has opened up something in me. Ashanti gave Nelly 10 years of her life. They didn't work out. They were dating long distance. Nobody wanted to make a sacrifice. They didn't work out. So it's 10 years of her life to him, and realizing you're a bad investment, I'm gonna leave you alone. Then she spends 10 years being everybody's rich auntie on vacation. Ashanti was on vacation for a decade. For 10 full years, all we ever said about Ashanti was, ooh, we like those old songs you have at our 90s parties and early 2000s parties. Your body is tea. And girl, you're always on vacation. Best life ever, apparently. Then we have the pandemic and that versus thing where he does what all fuckboys do and runs across the stage. Now, here's the part where I feel like we as an audience owe her an apology. When we gassed her up about him running across that stage and how big his smile was, she's even admitted on her show that's what sparked them giving each other another chance. Because you know, when your friends are like, girl, you know he cute. Girl, give him another chance. Look at how he was looking at you. We gassed her up into giving him another chance. For a small window of time, we was like, oh my God, spinning the block can be good sometimes. They were like the bastion of why it's good to spin the block. Since then, we've recently found out that he's a Trump supporter. He's a coon. He's a donkey. Janelle Monáe yelled "fuck you" to Nelly at a party while they were playing country grammar. Like, Nelly is not on the right side of history. But now, their new reality show, there's a clip circulating that's gone viral of him saying, with this baby that I basically made you have so I could trap you, I'm not changing diapers. I'm not raising him until he's old enough to talk. And you're going to do all the parenting. I'm rich. I don't have to be a father in that kind of way. I'll buy you some nannies. And when he can talk, that's when I'll step in to make him hang out with me and my boys. So you don't want to raise the kid. You just want to turn him into the kind of man that you are. I already know how I feel. As a mother, I'm going to let you go first. As a mother, a wife, and someone who understands what it's like when a nigga plays the long game, what are your thoughts on the clip?
Baby, run. Run as fast as you can. Because that is not a husband. That is not a partner.
Partner. That's not a partner.
That's not a partner.
He's her husband, but he's not her partner.
That's not a partner.
Am I wrong for thinking that Nelly basically just didn't evolve? He just got her on a discount because she was in her 40s and wanted a kid? Am I wrong for thinking that? Because I've had a couple of exes circle the block hoping that now that I'm older, they can get me at a discount. That's happened to me. And me and Ashanti are in the same age bracket.
No, you're not wrong. No.
I'm concerned about the message it sends because our good sis was living a great life and he caught her slipping.
Yeah.
It was the pandemic. She was lonely. He was like gassing her up. We were gassing her up.
Right.
And he caught her slipping. And it makes me so sad that someone who was living such a happy life is now in the premiere of their new show talking about, oh, I miss my old body. And, and I hated him for 12 years and X, Y, and Z, but he got back in my good graces. But now you're a married single mother. Have you ever had a time where you felt like you were parenting alone? You can be honest. We all know Rich is a good
100%. Yeah, he was overseas for 2 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he was in Afghanistan and Iraq. So he was a government contractor. So I was home. I had Taylor and he was overseas. He wasn't here for her birth. And then he was gone for like another year. So I was home with 2 kids. Gabriel was 3 and she was a newborn. So
was it easier because he was serving our country, or did you still feel a little bit of resentment or like anger about the fact that you're basically stuck doing it by yourself?
I don't think I was angry because it was like our choice that we made. Like I couldn't be angry because he was providing for our family, right? But there was definitely times where, I mean, it was hard. It was really hard. He only came home for 3 weeks out of a year.
Oh my God.
And I was living in like by myself with 2 kids with no family around. So it was hard, but I mean,
How did you make up for it
I mean, I just got what I want. I mean, got what I wanted. I don't know.
What do you mean? No, I'm saying when he came back, how did he make up for it?
He did everything. But at the same time, I also had to understand he came back and did everything, but there were still things that I had to understand that I needed to give him time to acclimate because he was still coming back from war.
Yeah.
You know, so things were, he'd come back to a party and it was too much for him. He couldn't be around the noise and the family all being together. It was like he had some form of PTSD, right? And so it was hard for him. And at first, it was like, well, damn, like you don't want to be with us, And I was like, you know what? Let me take a step back and see things from his perspective. And it was hard. It was an adjustment. It was like, it was something I was like, okay, I need to show him grace. And he also needs to show, be there for us too. So it was like, it was hard for all of us.
It's a balancing act of how much grace do you show him without enabling him.
Exactly. And how much does he step in for me that's going to be healthy for him?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was definitely a balancing act. But I mean, I did that by myself. So
Michelle Obama said that she had about a decade where she felt like she was a married single parent in that same kind of way.
Yeah.
So it's like for you, your husband's off at war.
Yeah.
Michelle Obama, her husband's running the free country.
Right.
Ashanti, your man said that he's intentionally going on tour because he doesn't want to be around to change diapers because he's 50 and don't feel like it. You see how one of these things is not like the other? So it's not even the fact of it's uncommon for a woman to be put in a position where she's raising a child alone even though she's married.
Right.
There's several reasons why that happens.
Right.
But the fact that you're doing it on purpose and gloating about it, and like Nick Cannon, you think that your money is going to somehow replace your presence. I hate it when men think they can afford to have a bunch of kids that they're not ready for just because they have the ability to financially take care of them.
No.
Money's not all it takes to raise a child.
Not at all.
Like a paycheck can't nurture a child. And the thing that made me really upset too is like when it came to him performing for Trump, it kept on saying Nelly was doing getting a bag to support his family, but on the show he's saying I don't have to raise my kid, I'm rich. Which one is it?
You're right. You can't have it both
ways.
ways.
Are you so rich you don't have to raise your children, or are you dealing with the Antichrist because you need a bag to feed your family? I just was disgusted by it, and I went from feeling disgusted by Love Island, which we are going to get into, to being disgusted by Nelly and what he's doing to Ashanti, and disgusted by the trap that I know my good sis fell into. And because she giggles so much, people are like, she giggles, it's so lovely. Giggling is a trauma response a lot of times.
Yep.
You're laughing to keep from crying because this man is playing in your face. You were giggling when Irv Gotti was playing in your face too. You were giggling when J-Lo stole your songs. So you've been giggling through some bullshit for 20 years. I'm not falling for the giggles, right?
It's a trauma response.
I'm going to call this episode Giggles and Bullshit. But anyway, let me stop. But that's so funny because we do giggle a lot. But we mean it when we giggle. But the thing that I think was so wild to me is I went from being disgusted with that to then hearing about the Diddy verdict. And I'm intentionally trying not to talk too much about the Diddy verdict just because I know way too many people who are directly affected. I'm just personally disgusted. There are people who I'm going to start blocking and unfollowing and unfriending based on their mask falling off. And shout out to Tiffany Red. She's a very close friend of Cassie's who did take some litigation against Diddy herself and has been a very big proponent of championing the victims, right? Because she was a songwriter for Cassie. And she knows so many of the people. And Tiffany, I met her at Bridget's wedding and she was amazing. And she's a girl's girl. Like I got sick at the wedding and she's the one who stood up for me when the hotel staff was being assholes. So Tiffany's like a girl's girl for real. But here's the thing that makes me sad. The amount of people who went from showing fake remorse when the video came out of Cassie being dragged to now attacking Cassie because Diddy was exonerated in their eyes. What are your thoughts around, not the Diddy verdict, because we know that no woman who loves herself is going to like the verdict.
Right.
But what are your thoughts around the response from men and women who are rejoicing that he seemingly has gotten away with it?
I have no response, honestly. I honestly can't even tap into it. I don't think I have the bandwidth.
Have you seen anybody that you care about or know personally have a problematic?
No, I have not.
Yeah, I've been trying to avoid it.
Same.
And I also think if you're a loud person about your politics and you're on the right side of history, certain people intentionally don't say things around you.
Yeah, same.
So I do think there are people who are policing themselves around me.
Same.
Because I know for a fact I know some Tory Lanez apologists. Because I found out that somebody I was dealing with was a Tory Lane apologist, and he's friends with one of my guy friends, and they all have a group chat. And I was like, wait, if I stop talking to you because you that, and I feel like y'all real close. But his friend knew not to say it around me. You know what I mean? And it's so, even Chris, and we're talking about Love Island. Chris from Love Island, who you and I both voted very high before that infamous episode 26. Finding out that he's a Tory Lane apologist really disappointed me. He could have been in Uzbekistan dribbling a ball, but now you're playing games in our face. Are you surprised that Chris from Love Island is a Tory Lanez apologist? Because he comes off like such a good guy.
Yeah. I absolutely. Yeah.
I think him being an athlete too, I often get nervous when athletes and entertainers put on the good guy act. I'm wondering how much of it is PR and how much is your true personality.
Yeah.
What do you think about the episode we just saw? Episode 27 just aired, and it's the one in the aftermath of the Stand on Business Challenge. And what do you think about Huda's reaction and the anger that she stood business on when the episode starts?
Well, first I don't know why she went over there with the girls, because she had her face made up because she wanted someone to again, ask her, what's wrong?
I call it the loud silent treatment.
Yeah, for sure. She just always does the most. I don't know. This episode was just, what I think the thing that bothered me the most with this episode was that they thought that we were voting after that episode that aired. You know what I'm saying? We voted after they did the... I
actually love that they got that wrong.
Yeah, me too.
I love that they got it wrong.
Me too. But it's still at the same time, it's like, had we seen that, everything would have been different. But they think, you know what I'm saying? But
had it been after, the votes would have been meaner and more anti-Black. So I'm actually happy that...
Same. But I feel that there was still a lot of we'll get into that. Sorry. We'll just, the Huda thing right now. She's just I
think she's calculated.
Very calculated in that. Extremely calculated in that. And how she continues to play the victim. But I do love the fact that Mrs. quote unquote mean girl, Alandria, did apologize.
Yep.
But she's just, allegedly the mean girl, which I find
it's wild to me that Huda can call people all types of pussies and bitches for days and days and days on end, hold people captive, tell secrets about Iris. Like we're talking about, don't talk about the kiss. You literally spent about 30 seconds going in on Iris after Jeremiah picked her. Well, he said your pussy's thinking he don't like you. Like you went in on this girl.
Yeah.
All Alandria did was say that you kissed somebody. Yeah. So it's just the double standards are interesting because the Huda hive, the hood rats, keep calling other people hypocrites. They don't realize that it's really them.
Yeah.
But there's some comments that were made that I'm going to go over some certain quotes that I wrote down. The first quote that I thought was interesting was Huda performatively wanted to give people the silent treatment.
Yes.
I think there's nothing more lame than you wanting to give me the silent treatment by sitting in my face.
And then slamming the...
You could be silent in the other room.
Right.
You're just mad that I won't care.
Right.
So you want to do it. That's a very loud silent treatment.
Exactly.
But after the girls were talking, the girls were like, every single person who said something controversial stood up and admitted it. But whoever wrote that comment about Pepe and Hannah is a pussy because by the way, they love to use the word pussy in this episode so much, is a pussy because they didn't say anything. The minute they panned to Huda, I was like, Huda wrote it.
She did.
So Huda goes to the bed and says to Chris, can I confess to you? They're saying whoever wrote it is a pussy. It's me. I did it. The mask falls off again.
Yep.
You're a girl's girl. But you did a kill shot that you're the only person who's too much of a coward to admit it.
Yep.
But you're crying that people are coming after you.
Yeah.
The second thing, though, now I switch to Pepe. Pepe said to one of the boys, Iris is the baddest girl in here. Now, for those of you who follow me on Instagram, I've already said I've given up on Black love this season. I've given up on Black anything, to be honest. I've given up on girl. I never was a girl's girl, so I've given up on that.
Yeah.
Viva la Asa. Okay, I want the Dominicans to win. I'm voting for all the Dominicans. Anybody I know Black, that's who I'm voting for. The Dominicans are the least, and by the way, I know there's probably from other countries, but I call them the Dominicans, okay? The Dominicans are the least problematic people on the whole show.
Yes.
My stepbrothers and sisters are Dominican. I'm just gonna go to that side of my family.
Yep.
So for me, it's like, oh, I love Pepe, Alejandra, Andrina, adrenal gland. I don't know her name.
Adriana?
There we go.
Yeah.
Viva la Asa. Anyways, so her, Brian, that's not very Spanish. Who's the fourth one? Amaya Papaya.
Amaya Papaya.
I'm for all the Dominicans in my mind. But here's the thing, when I posted that, everybody's like, yes, we get it, sis. And then somebody was like, no, on behalf of all Latinos, he don't like Latin women, he likes white girls. And the minute they said that, I was like, you're right.
Yeah.
Any flat-bootied blonde girl who sachets in there.
Yeah.
So when he said Iris is the baddest, Iris?
Iris.
Even if he had said Huda, I would have been like, no, I might not be Team Huda, but I'm not a hater.
Right.
Huda's a gorgeous girl.
Yeah.
You picked, in a room of Olandria, Huda,
Adriana.
Adriana, Amaya Papaya even.
Yep. Amaya Papaya.
Iris.
Who she? I'm not gonna say.
Hidden Valley Ranch, like flavored Iris. To me, I think Iris smells like ranch dressing. I don't know why.
Hidden Valley Ranch.
I'm convinced she smells like ranch dressing. I'm not trying to be nasty. When I see her, I think of ranch dressing. I don't know why. Maybe that's how white she is. Maybe that's an elevation from mayonnaise. You know, like ranch is a little bit spicier than mayonnaise. It's just that I was like, in this room, you as a Latin man. And I was like, he was crying over Hannah, another white girl. We often talk about, we already know about the Black men who want to get in Master's house to steal his girl. We've already discussed that ad nauseum. But I didn't think about the Latin women, how they're like, no, we got some coons in there too. Like, he does not give a fuck about any Latinas. And I was like, that's why he turned down Adriana.
But you know what? Yeah, but when she came in, he was like so excited because she spoke Spanish. You remember that? He was all for it. And then he was like, nah, I'm cool.
Nah, she too Black for me. I'm looking at Pepe crazy.
Yeah.
And I voted him number one a lot.
Same.
Finding out that Chris is a Tory Lanez apologist and Pepe.
We've messed.
No, we didn't mess up because we hate everybody more.
Yeah.
We just like them less. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was interesting. So shout out to the Latin community that's pointing out to us that no, Pepe's not who y'all think he is.
Yeah.
Then there's another quote. It says, I'm not a bad person, just come talk to me. This is what Huda said to Shelly when Shelly was talking to her. And my comment was, okay, but when they talk to her, she cries and calls everybody a bully, even if their behavior is calmer and more reasonable than hers. So my thing, what do you think about people who always say, why can't you just talk to me when they've de-incentivized talking to them?
Well, how can we talk to you? Like, you make it extremely hard to come and talk to you because no matter how we come and talk to you, we get painted a certain way.
In her mind,
and you are not safe.
She's saying sorry. She's like, but I said sorry though, so it's okay.
It's okay.
I can make everybody send you death threats and cry white tears and try to steal your man out of spite. But like I said, sorry though.
I said sorry, but I'm sorry.
I said sorry.
But I said sorry.
Apology to me is only genuine if it's through actions and not just words. And by actions, I mean improved behavior.
Yes.
I think the thing that makes me really sad is anybody who's really honest is going to have to admit to themselves that part of what bothers Huda is that Shelly and Olandria have been called baddies and called beautiful and gorgeous in a way that she expected would only happen to her. I think had Amaya been the one who was treated like that, it would have bothered her less. But in her mind, the two girls that are supposed to be my sidekicks are pulling all these dudes that should be wanting, like, what do you mean Chris wanted you and came in here for you? He's a 6'8" Black man. I'm supposed to be his Kardashian remake. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean Ace wanted you? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean Jeremiah liked kissing you? Like, I think if we were very, very honest, there's a part of Huda that is shaken up that Shelly and Olandria are as wanted, if not more than she was at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it created a jealousy in her.
Extreme jealousy.
That has come out in ways that she's not even willing to admit to herself. Which is why Ariana, the host, is now being dragged because Ariana, I think on some interview said, well, I understand why Shelly's upset because look at Huda. Ariana, you've been on the right side of history this entire time. To insinuate that Shelly's jealous of Huda when we've literally, anybody with emotional intelligence and over the age of 30 has seen it be the other way around. I think in her mind, it was a flippant comment, like to say that Huda's gorgeous. But I think there's some racial bias that even Ariana has.
Right.
Because when Ariana talks about how gorgeous Olandria is like ridiculously like Bratz doll. Like she's gorgeous in a way that almost feels like not a real person. Right. Like
or Barbie.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So you thinking a dark-skinned girl who's ridiculously attractive is attractive is not, I'm not giving you points for that. It's almost like when people say, I wouldn't date a white guy, but I like Channing Tatum. Well, he's fine. Like, of course you like the fine people, right? I think for me, what's been weird is to realize how quickly people are willing to turn on the black girls after all the grace that's been given to Huda. Now, I'm going to ask you this. What do you think is going to happen when we have to do America's vote? I think last episode, we had a guess about who we thought was going to be the top 3 girls and boys. Do you want to amend what you guessed last time or remind us what you guessed last time?
What did I guess?
I don't know. I know that I thought that Shelly and Huda would be a toss for 3rd place and that Amaya would probably be first place, and that at the time Olandria was doing well. She's no longer doing well now.
Yeah, no. I don't remember what I voted. I have to write these things down.
Who do you think now?
I think Amaya is by far winning.
Yeah. Her brother came out and said she's going to win.
Yeah, I think she's going to win for sure. Is he? Oh, so
He's
cute.
adorable,
Oh, so cute. I think the hood rats are going to push her through.
She's definitely going to be in the top 3 as a way for drama.
Yeah, I think she is. And I don't know who else is going to go for the top 3.
I think Ace and Shelly in this recent episode 27, I think they're both shocked by how hated they are. I am. Ace's face was when he saw Amaya go first, and he's been picking on her this entire time. Ace thought just by yelling gaslighting and love bombing over and over again, we were going to think that he was evolved.
Yeah.
When he saw Amaya go first, and then he started to see how low Shelly was and how low he was.
Yeah.
He was like, oh. And then we saw Taylor go last.
Yeah.
I actually think it was him seeing Taylor go last that made him stand behind Taylor and not his loyalty. I think that he is loyal to Taylor because Taylor's a good minion. And seeing that Taylor is hated makes him an even better minion because he's not a threat to win.
Yeah.
There was a moment that I want to double click on that I think a lot of people probably missed. And this quote was said, I'm very happy. I'm very giddy. Tee-hee. I'm very excited with him saying, I choose Clark. When Clark said that about her moment with Taylor, my first thought was, this just confirmed to me, you're not happy. Because I thought she was about to say she's happy that the man that she liked her.
Right.
Instead, she chose to say she was giddy and excited because she got chose over Olandria. That nuance stuck out to me in a way that my spidey sense was like, I don't think you're excited about Taylor because he's kind of lame. I think you're excited that you got chosen over Olandria.
I think we've kind of called that from day one, though.
A lot of people think that we're overreacting and that she's not a mean girl and she's just misunderstood.
No, I think the people that say that don't really know what mean girls are.
They don't. They think mean girls setting boundaries and calling people out on their bullshit.
No, but a lot of times, like, that's kind of what a mean girl is. I think people, even when we're like, oh no, we see the smirks, we see the faces, they're like, no, that's what the production and editors want you to see. And it's like, yeah, maybe too.
But now you verbally confirmed it.
But that's a verbal confirmation. Like,
I think the other verbal confirmation for me, the one that was loud to everybody, was when Huda said, God, this is so hard. Would it be easier if I was ugly? That line to me, I don't ever want to hear another Huda redemption arc because I'm happy he chose me and said I choose Clark, and would it be easier if I was ugly? Those are Regina George quotes.
But those are also like manipulation. Like
please compliment me.
But that's also to pull him away from Shelly.
Yeah.
Like that's what she's doing. And it worked completely, 100%. He said that he's usually he attracts women who are emotionally unstable. Well, sir, you did it again.
And she was like, I don't think I'm emotionally unstable. Can we admit, and this is something I want everybody to admit, men, women, and gender nonconforming in between. When people are in a losing season, they often find themselves wanting to be chosen, not based on the merit of the person who's choosing them, but based on the superiority they feel to those who haven't been chosen.
Yes. So
I'm not in any way thinking that Huda is in love or falling for Chris the way she was for Jeremiah. I'm very clear. Huda is getting a subconscious bit of sick joy from taking a man from Shelly.
Yes, it's validation.
Right, it's validation.
Yes, it's validation.
I in no way think that Clark is excited about being with Taylor. I think Clark is excited about being chosen over Alandria. Mm-hmm. The fact that an Arab woman who's racially ambiguous, who's used to being favored, mm-hmm. and a light-skinned Black woman who's used to being within the Black realm being favored, both are getting such giddy joy from being chosen over two drop-dead gorgeous dark-skinned Black women is something that has nothing to do with the men. I don't even think it has anything to do with the money. I think it has to do with the insecurity. Like, oh, this darky thought that she was gonna be hot shit. That's unnatural. We're supposed to be the faves. The natural order of things is that the racially ambiguous girls and the light-skinned girls get chosen. How dare we be in a season where it looks like these two blackies are what are y'all doing? And so I think to me, this is deeper than the show. It's deeper than the money. It's even deeper than winning. I think a lot of times women don't want to admit that a woman will go after your man, not because she wants him. She just wants to know she can have him. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of times where I've told guys that I've dated, that homegirl of yours, I don't care that I can trust you. I care that you're talking to her in a way that's making her think that she could have you if she wanted you. Mm-hmm. Have you ever experienced that? Because you have a very attractive husband. You're a gorgeous woman yourself.
Thank you.
And you have a very attractive husband. So that's naturally going to cause hate. Mm-hmm. Have you ever been in the presence of someone where you clocked that they would get some, look at your face. Have you ever been in the presence of a woman where you could clock, she would really enjoy it if he gave her a little bit of fever right now? Mm-hmm. And how has it been verbal? And have you ever told him that you clocked it? Uh-huh. What do you say? Richard, she wants your penis?
I said, I hope you know that she wants you. No. I said yes, and I'm clocking it. And she's this that she's doing, it's, no, you're tripping. No, I'm not. I'm not being jealous. Mm-hmm. I'm not being territorial.
Exactly.
This is just what I'm telling you.
You're clocking it.
I'm clocking it. There's no reason for it. She's trying to be cute and nice to me, but what she's doing is she's trying to be cute with you.
It's called nice nasty.
It's because she wants you. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How has he responded, or how has things culminated when you've pointed it out in the past?
Oh, they're no longer friends.
Oh, so he'll cut it off.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, you're blessed, because a lot of men will just say you're tripping and keep hanging out with them.
I'm tripping at first, but then it's like, oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, I see what you're saying. You're right. Okay.
This is gonna sound unpopular, and this is probably why I don't call myself a girl's girl, because that term is used to silence women setting boundaries a lot of times.
Yeah.
Or women being held accountable for bad behavior.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
I think that women who say, oh God, so your girl's insecure, whenever someone says, hey, our relationship's making my partner uncomfortable, are assholes.
Yeah.
Because here's a perfect example. I don't want any of my guy friends. I'm not physically attracted to a single one of my guy friends. Mm-hmm. And they're all very attractive. Mm-hmm. I'm what they call a demisexual. For those of you who don't know what a demisexual is, it's what y'all think a sapiosexual is. Sapiosexual is a word that they made up in a meme in the late 90s and y'all thought it was a real word. It's actually demisexual. Mm-hmm. A demisexual is somebody who's only attracted through a sincere, substantive connection.
Okay.
If I don't have a connection with you, I actually don't care how fine you are.
Okay.
Like you being like attractive is not going to ever be enough for me.
Right.
And so because of that, my guy friends remain my guy friends no matter how cute they are. But if one of my guy friends, and this has happened before, said, hey, we're so close, it's making my girl uncomfortable, I never have anything to say but totally take care of her, king. No problem.
Right.
I have no pushback.
Right.
I'm not going to call her names.
Right.
I'm not going to call her jealous. I'm not, oh, she must be insecure.
Right.
Because to me, you should prioritize the safety of your relationship over our platonic connection. Because I'm not about to fuck you and have kids with you and build a life with you.
Right.
And I love you enough to want you to be happy.
Right.
And if your girl ever wants us to hang out, I'll make sure she's included.
Right.
But I'm not going to tell you to make her feel scared or disrespected because I think that I'm superior to her. Mm-hmm. Well, how would you feel if a guy friend told you, hey, Monique, I know you're married and stuff, but I look just like your husband and my girl's uncomfortable?
If she's uncomfortable, she's uncomfortable. I get it, 100%. Yeah. Because I know what that feels like. Yeah.
I think women who call you insecure for setting boundaries are actually the ones who are insecure.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you worried about me, sis?
All right, no.
If anything, you just proved my point.
Right.
Now, what do we think about the fact that Austin, and I wrote down in my notes, Austin sounds like Donald Trump. He really talks in a MAGA cadence. You know how there's the MAGA face? He has a MAGA cadence.
He is a MAGA.
Yeah. But so's Chris. Not Chris. The one who just left, Charlie. Charlie, the one that was the dark-skinned British one. I mean, the dark-haired British one.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
He's MAGA too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Yes, but Austin being MAGA, but then having Olandria, the black woman from the South.
I know, right?
Be the only one to have his back and call him bestie.
I know. I'm like, wait till she finds out.
There are so many things that people don't know while engaging in the show that I think is psychological warfare and very much fucked up from the show's perspective. The person that I want to talk about that I think I first told you, Monique, not too much. And then the very next time you're like, yeah, girl, I see it. You're right. Cierra. I have thought Cierra was on bullshit from day one. And I understood why y'all thought she was cool. I understand.
Can we talk about her now?
Yeah.
Can I talk about her now?
Okay, hit it.
Can I talk about her now?
Cierra's on some bullshit.
No, I'm not going to call you that. I'm not going to call her that. After tonight's episode, I was in the car and I wanted to call her that so bad, but I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I was so pissed off after tonight's episode because how dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you sit there, just you, Iris, TJ, and Nick, and like we have no drama in the house, just us four. It's just us four. We're just chilling. You don't go stand behind him.
Yeah.
How dare you sit there with Shelly and Olandria and it's fuck Taylor, fuck this, fuck that, but then you go and stand behind him?
Yeah.
How dare you? Because your man is there?
Yeah.
Girl.
Cierra is problematic for so many reasons. First thing is, shout out, y'all can catch some strays. She's a Libra. As somebody who's dated a lot of Libras, been engaged to one, you're married to a Libra.
And my kids are Libras.
We understand, anybody who loves a Libra knows that they're lovely and fake. They say that themselves. Any Libra who's been to therapy will be like, look, I'm a little fake, tell me when it happens. The same way my Leo friends who've been to therapy say, I'm a hypocrite, tell me when it happens, right? I'm a Taurus, tell me when I'm being stubborn. Like, I get it. We all have our things. You're an Aries, tell me when I kick something over. But like, we all have our things.
Yeah.
The fact that and I've been doing an investigation on Cierra. I thought about doing a video on her, but I felt like the tone might be a little bit too cunty. So I was like, let me calm down. I'm waiting till Monique gets here to calm me down. For those of you who are
I wasn't going to calm you down. I'm about to hype you up.
I did a whole investigation on Cierra last night. I fell down a rabbit hole. Cierra is someone who is not just a content creator. She is someone who is very media trained and 2 years ago was so obsessed with Love Island, her best friend threw her a Love Island themed birthday party. That's how obsessed she is. Then she started making friends with members of the cast, including and Andrea, the bitch from last year who we all thought was crazy. So you're obsessed with the show to the point where it's the theme of your birthday party. You now start making friends with people who are on the show. Then there was a girl named, what was the girl's name? There was this influencer who got canceled recently for being a racist. She got canceled last summer, and I think I have it on my phone saved. She got canceled for being a racist, and she had a lot of old tweets that said, I don't know why y'all tripping about Trayvon Martin getting shot. That's what he deserves. If he was a white person, we wouldn't even be thinking, we wouldn't even be doing all this. Like that kind of racist. Like blaming Trayvon Martin for his own murder.
Okay.
That kind of racist, like grade A uncut racist. The girl got canceled, went on an apology tour, got slightly uncanceled with an asterisk where now people who don't care about racism are the ones who are following you, and those who do still don't fuck with you. Guess who's her best friend?
Shut the fuck up.
Cierra.
Shut the fuck up.
So now you're obsessed with the show, and you're very good friends with a known racist even after her scandal. The girl, the racist girl, goes on and says, yeah, I'm only watching Love Island because one of my best friends, Sierra's on it, and now I love the show because of Cierra. Go Cierra. I was like, wait a minute. It's like Candace Owens being best friends with Shelly. I would look at Shelly crazy if Candace Owens was her best friend. Then Cierra has a video she posted that they found of her saying, I'm getting plastic surgery because I don't want to look too chinky.
Well, her Botox thing for the, yes.
And then they found another post earlier of her taking a picture of her smiling like, I'm happy, still chinky though. For those who don't know, chinky is a racial slur against the Asian community.
Yes.
So you have some racist leanings.
And she went to Arizona State.
Yeah. And she went to Arizona State where they refused to acknowledge Martin Luther King Day. So you're in a racist environment with racist best friends who've been called out for racism and are covertly trying to saddle up to the producers to be a part of a show that you're currently on, and intentionally, because you studied the show, I've heard from everybody that we have some people that we know that are slightly adjacent to her who are not her friends. They were like, no, Cierra studied the show like an op. And so you know the two pretty black girls are gonna be the fan faves. So you intentionally saddle up with the two dark-skinned girls who are bad bitches because you already know the Latinas and the black girls are gonna probably be the faves. So now I'm like, girl, you having all those emotionally intelligent conversations with Huda and you being so like, hey guys, I just want you to know that when we sent Hannah home, it's because of X, Y, and Z. And I would like to know, what would you like? It was so diplomatic.
Yeah, no.
It was so put on.
I didn't buy it for a second.
Cierra, you are a see you next Tuesday in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And for the Asian community, they said, how come we let Yulisa go home on behalf of the Black community? But I actually agree with them.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, because I've given up on Black love, I stand with the Dominicans and the Asians. Cierra gotta go.
Yeah.
Somebody from a bodega, I call it the bodega coup, okay? A coup d'etat. I want somebody who speaks Spanish to win the show.
Yep.
And I just want Huda not to win.
Yep.
That's all I care about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want a Latino to win. I want Cierra to leave.
Yep. They can wake her up. Excuse me. Time for you to go, sweetie. They can wake her up the same way they do Yulisa. Yep.
And did you hear what you said earlier? And this is something that one of my activist friends pointed out. You said earlier that her and Nick and Iris and TJ would sit around like mom and dad at the country club watching the coons fight.
Yeah.
The fact that as a Puerto Rican Mexican woman, you are finding superiority in being accepted by a group of white people who are judging every other person of color. I know what you are.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Bitch, I know what you are.
And you know, for me, it was like, let's stand behind Taylor. Do you know why? Because if we do, we just eliminated our competition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
that's really what it is.
Stand behind Andrina.
And then it would have been a tie. And then they could do, okay, now it's between these two. Now it's just between these two. Taylor would have, that's it. So now it's between these two. But no.
You're an op.
You're an op.
Cierra is an op. She lost about 150,000 followers during the debacle that happened. Unfortunately, Huda gained 1 billion, but still.
Oh yeah, they're buying. Her people are buying followers, is what I saw online.
Really? I would actually prefer that than to think that America is this sucky. I mean, they already voted for Trump, so I should know.
Yeah. But
Huda's gonna become the Omarosa of the Arab community. Here's the thing: everything that I predicted recently has happened. So at this point, I'm just gonna start telling y'all what I felt.
Yeah.
Perfect example of something that I felt that I thought I was crazy about. 6 months ago, I told Bridget, shout out to my other co-host, Bridget Kelly. You know I love her. I told Bridget, I said, Bridget, this is going to sound so weird, and I'm not even that girl. My spirit guides keep telling me that I need to start having cash on hand, like large number, like sums of cash somewhere outside of an American bank.
Right.
Then 3 months ago, I started getting a feeling of, I need to make sure that I have supplies in my house at market value and to update my passports.
Yes.
Last month, it's been the last 4 weeks. This is the one that freaked me out.
Yeah.
My spirit guides told me on 3 different occasions, you need to buy a generator. I was like, why the fuck do I need to buy a generator? What the fuck is, like, that's some like developing country type shit.
Yeah.
Do you know when the big, ugly, nasty, racist, everybody needs to die bill came out and got approved today?
Yeah.
One of the first things I saw on the one pagers about what it's going to affect is the cost of electricity.
Yep.
And I was like, fuck, that's why they were telling me for all these weeks I need to buy a generator.
Yep.
And I am not the kind of girl who weaponizes my gift to be an alarmist.
Yeah.
But that's so out of character. For a generator, stash of money. I'm from Latin America.
Yeah,
I'm gonna want to stash of money, right?
Put some on your bed.
Right. And then like the passport thing, that's just anybody who's paying attention.
Right.
The generator thing scared me.
Right.
I was like, oh, that's not me.
Right.
That's somebody on the other side.
Right.
You guys, I'm gonna say this. Do you have a generator?
No, but my dad sells them. Yeah, I need to get one.
If he sells them at a good price, let me know. I keep it in the family.
Yeah.
I want to get a generator. I don't know if I want a solar powered one or not, but I want to get a generator because I don't want to be in a position where they're tripling the cost.
Yep.
And now it's the summer or the winter and I'm burning or freezing because I can't afford heat. Which, by the way, is what happens in the UK all the time.
Yep.
In the UK, your heat is like on a meter and you have to put money on your card, like a prepaid card for you to have any electricity. I'm not trying to do all that. What do you think about the big bad fuck y'all, everybody needs to die who's black or brown bill?
I was just in tears today.
I was devastated.
I was devastated. Yeah. It's just sad just to see just where we are, just to see everyone clapping that passed it, giving a thumbs up to YMCA.
Being excited.
Like,
I often say on the show that Mo and I represent the two largest demographics that ICE likes to chase after, the Mexicans and the Haitians. And outside of race, though, I'm very Americanized. And so even though I feel bad for my countrymen, I'm still personally protected in a way that I have to admit is a privilege, right? Mm-hmm. And then I think, oh shit, Monique's a vet, and all of a sudden she's not covered.
No.
Shield removed.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wait, you guys are about to affect nursing homes and the healthcare. My mother is in a facility getting dialysis 3 times a week. Shield removed. So now I'm just like, every single time I think there's a little bit of distance between me and the world burning.
Yeah.
None of us are safe.
I mean, even just driving here, right? Like we're driving and then, you know, we're driving through the border, right? I mean, it's a state border, but it's just like I start panicking and my husband and's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I don't have my passport. And he's like, why do you need your passport? I'm like, well, ICE is like if ICE is there, he's like, are you fucking serious? And I'm like, yes, I'm serious. He's like, no, you're fine. You're fine. I'm like,
Richard,
no, I'm not. I'm not fine. Like you're fine. I'm not fine. And it's like a real fear. So, you know.
It makes me, and I don't want to get emotional, but like.
Yeah.
And there's some jokes that we make about correlations in race. Can we be honest? We're about to have a politically incorrect moment. We've always said that the Koreans are the N-words of the Asian community. And the Mexicans are the N-words of the Latin community. Mm-hmm. And so I've always felt like a strong kinship to the Mexican community. And the reason why is because when I first came to this country, I think I told you the story, they called me a burnt Mexican because I was brown skinned, but I had a thick Spanish accent. And being called a burnt Mexican in the 80s, I was like, well, that's clearly a bad thing, but why are you using somebody's country as a bad thing? And so me being a nerd, I researched it. I was like, oh, they treat Mexican people the way they treat black people. Got it. And so at a young age, that racist taunt immediately made me feel a kinship to that community because I immediately saw the correlation.
Right.
And so many times when you think about Latin people, even when you see a Salma Hayek, they try to pick the most racially ambiguous, like maybe she could be from Spain or something, right?
Right.
There's something about looking indigenously, like being an indigenous looking Mexican person that is as looked down upon as being a racially unambiguous black woman.
Right.
And we have so much in common in that way that like it breaks my, I don't want to cry.
Yeah.
Shout out to my friend Carla, my friend Rachel. They work really hard to help those kids that were in cages. They work really hard with legal aid to help the Mexican community. They have helped deepen my understanding what that community is going through. Yeah. I just think I can't live in California and be anti-Mexican. You know why?
Right.
I don't like being a hypocrite.
Right.
I just feel like to any black people who are listening, who know that the Latin community is anti-black and are using that as an excuse not to care, I'm telling you, please don't do that.
Right.
It breaks my heart the way division and a lack mindset and pain. It's almost like, well, you made fun of me and you didn't care about me. Now I don't care about you.
Right.
But I'm just like, there are black people who don't care about people and yet we still expect to be respected.
Right.
The Mexican community is full of people who are pro-black, who work with us and are side by side with us. And for me, I was so deeply hurt when I heard from you, and I'm going to be sensitive about this so you can tell me how far to go.
Yeah.
That there were people in your ecosystem, even though you have children who are black and Mexican, who are still being anti-Mexican in your presence.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to cry. I really want to cry. How does that feel? Like a community of people who are your family and they still don't get that your presence should tell them not to be like this. Katie, can we get some tissue? I'm sorry.
It's okay.
What are you feeling right now, Mo? Because I think people need to see that, like, this is not just, like, tribal wars. It's not just, like, xenophobia. Like, this is hurtful.
Yeah. It's just hard.
And I get so scared that somebody I love is going to get took.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, love.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just hard. Because you just don't know, even with, just hearing like people that are citizens are still getting arrested and then, they're going to court and it's like, the parents are bringing birth certificates and it's like, okay, great. The judge is like, thank you. But they can't be released. They're on an ICE hold. It's like, well,
someone's child.
What the fuck is an ICE hold, And now with the bill that passed and the ICE budget went from $2 billion to $175 billion. Like,
yikes.
And then people, like you were asking, people that are close to me, that's my family, that just hard.
I can't imagine thinking that I've been embraced by a community and been so ride or die for a community, and then people in that same community are like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And that's universal. That's bigger than race. That's just human nature. Yeah. And I just think it's so disappointing to me how so many Black people are being taught to be bigots.
Yeah. And I don't know if they understand
They don't. It's a lack of education. They don't understand.
Yeah, it's a lack of, for sure.
What do you tell your kids? Like, having children who are Mexican and Black in this ecosystem, I can't even imagine how you talk to them about this.
It's hard. It's hard to navigate. You know, for my son, you know, I try to get him, because, you know, he drives, he goes to work, and he's graduated, and, you know, for him, he thinks he's Black presenting, but I'm like, babe, no, you're Latin presenting. Yeah, and, you know, you need to be vigilant. You need to have certain things on your phone that are shortcuts to Siri. You know, it's the same thing. You know, it's just now it's not just a fear of you being a Black man. You're a fear of being Black and Mexican, you know? Right. So it's like you're kind of screwed both ways, you know?
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's hard letting him be on his own sometimes.
I can't believe that you were driving from Vegas to California and were scared because you didn't have your passport. Like, that's the world we live in now.
Yeah. And I don't think that people understand that fear.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't have to feel that fear. So.
Yeah. When I got to Boston, there was a young man, I think from Milford, Massachusetts, and his father, ICE was looking for his father because of like a ticket. He had like a traffic ticket. Yeah. That's all it takes, by the way. It takes very little.
Yeah.
They accidentally grabbed him instead.
Yeah.
He was born in this country.
Yeah.
He's still being held.
Yeah.
And his parents can't even show up because they're going to get took too. So now his friends are now protesting for him to come out.
Right.
But his own mother and father can't even fight for him because they were looking for his dad.
Right.
And I can't imagine. And here's the thing that makes me so, this hits a chord for me. When I was 16 years old, I was a virgin. And immigration came to my school looking for me and said, we heard that you're Haitian and Cuban. Child, I was fucked.
Yeah.
You're Haitian and Cuban. You're not a legal citizen yet because they intentionally create lots of red tape when you're from Haiti or Cuba.
Right.
Imagine being from both.
Right.
We want you to come to INS to get an AIDS test. And I said, but I'm a virgin. Why would I need to get an AIDS test? I never had sex with them. I never even see the penis yet. Like, I was a good girl.
Right.
Like, I'm a good girl. I need an AIDS test.
Right.
They were like, no, you're Haitian. So we think you're going to bring AIDS into this country. I said, I got here when I was 3. I wasn't fucking on nobody in my diaper. Like, what do y'all say? Like, to me, my autistic brain was like, this doesn't actually make sense.
Right.
I don't think Canadians are getting AIDS tests, right?
Right.
So I had a government mandated AIDS test in high school just because of where I come from, because Haitians equal AIDS to them. And back in the 90s, that was a thing.
Yeah.
And so I go to take the test, and I'll never forget it. There's this young, I think he was Afro-Latin boy next to me. And I was like, oh, so you here because of the ops too? I'm thinking, okay, they just, anybody who's from a country they don't like is taking an AIDS test. He was like, no, I actually have my first girlfriend, and my mom found out that we're having sex, and she's making me take a test because she's like tripping. I was like, oh, well, your circumstances is better than mine. Right. I'm worried about being deported. Because here I am being raised in New England with this New England accent, worried about being deported to countries that I don't even recognize.
Right.
He goes before me, and he wasn't taking the test, he was getting results. I was like, well, that's interesting, he has to come in. The screaming I heard in that room. The wailing, it came out positive, clearly. So imagine I'm 16 years old, the government is making me take a test because they're racist.
Right.
And the boy that I'm just making friends with in the hallway, we're kikiing laughing, is screaming because he just found out that he has HIV. I remember thinking to myself, I've done nothing to be here.
Right.
I don't deserve to be here.
Right.
They threatened me with deportation every single year until I was 26. My mother went bankrupt 3 times to make me a citizen. And so when people talk about, well, just get your papers.
Right.
It's easier for somebody from Sweden to get their papers than somebody from a black or brown country.
Right. And I don't think that's what people understand. It's like, well, you know, all these people were, you know, I think that them working selling flowers and oranges. Like, yeah, deport them and they're not paying taxes. Like, why don't they have their papers? Do you understand how hard it is for them to get their papers?
Yeah.
Do you understand they've been trying for 15, 18 years and they go to court and they get arrested? And they're getting deported and they're doing the right thing? Like, do you understand that the people selling oranges and fruit are their third, fourth job?
Yeah.
Do you understand? Like, it's not easy because of where we come from.
And people don't understand how economics works.
Right.
Immigrants who come to this country who have not fully become citizens, they add to the economy that they can't take out of.
Right.
That means they're buying things. Some of them who actually have 9-to-5 jobs who haven't been caught. They're paying taxes. They're doing all these things for Social Security that they won't actually get to benefit from.
Right.
So they're actually pouring into an economy that they can barely get anything out of.
Right.
It's a one-sided benefit to us when immigrants are in this country.
Right.
To their detriment.
Right.
And people who don't understand economics don't get that. They don't understand that the Mexican community, the Haitian community, the Venezuelan community, the Palestinian, like there's so many communities that pour more than they get out of America.
Right.
Because all they want is to be safe.
Right.
The bar is low for them. I just want to not be in a country where I'm worried about my safety.
Right.
And because you're more developed, because you're more white presenting and have more dastardly politics that make you richer than us, this is the safest place for me to be. So I'm worried about not getting murdered and I'm pouring back in and you're kicking me out for what now? It's not logical.
No.
I didn't expect this to go there.
Same.
Right. And I think that's why Cierra disgusts me so much.
Yeah.
Because to be a Latin, I'm not gonna cry. To be a Latin woman with any Mexican heritage, Puerto Rican heritage, any heritage of that sort, understanding how this country has treated those demographics, and to go on such a huge platform whose impact you understand because you've been studying it for years to the point of obsession, and to manifest being in that space and to smile in the face of all these Black women and make them feel safe, to smile in the face of this Palestinian girl and make her feel safe. And the entire time you just want white acceptance. Respectfully, fuck you, Cierra.
Respectfully, fuck you, girl. Respectfully.
Yeah, like
respectfully.
I already have an issue with Huda, but Cierra was a secret villain that I didn't see coming until I started doing the research.
Yeah, no. And I was like, genuinely, I was really upset that Shelly and Alandria and Cierra lost all of those followers. I was like, damn, like that's fucked up. Like that really hurt me because of they're Black and brown. Like I'm like, why are they being made the villains? Why is it always the Black and brown community? Why is it always them? Like it hurts me to my soul. Like that we can never just protect them as Black and brown women. Like it,
and you can have a bad day.
And you can't
a bad
ever
day
have
death threats.
But it's not even them having a bad day. It's just them saying, I'm hurt.
Yeah.
I'm just expressing myself and they're the villains. Yeah. But now, girl, fuck you.
I am, at this point, I'm going to say this. Nobody in the house is perfect.
No.
Everybody has had moments of slipping up. I could think of something good and something bad to say about everybody, including Huda.
Yeah.
And yet, why is the people with the longer list of bad, the longer list of misdeeds, the longer list of manipulation, who are getting a redemption arc?
Yep.
And the stoic Black girls who have been intentionally eating shit because they understand the ecosystem.
Yep.
Finally just let themselves have an emotion.
Yep.
And now they're having to turn off their comments because of death threats. And Cierra's now on that list too, right? And I think for me, Love Island has become something where the people who are on that show are self-producing and they ruin the show because they didn't go to it to have fun the way that the show's supposed to be.
Yep.
And the audience is also reflecting back their own bullshit. I kind of hate everybody right now.
Yeah, same.
Amaya fucking Papaya. When we saw you still ace from Shelly and hated you for about 37 minutes until we realized, oh, honey, you don't know any better. It's okay.
Gratuitously. Opportunity.
Yeah, before we realized that you were a little too simple to be maniacal. We're like, oh, honey, she's not trying to hurt nobody.
No, right.
She can barely spell. My poor baby.
Right.
I'm going to say this. Love Island reminds me how much America hates Black and brown women. And it also reminds me how sensitive and fragile acceptance is. We're going to be your fave if we are perfect. A Black woman a Latin woman, a plus size woman, a ghetto woman will be loved in America as long as she is tap dancing and pandering to their sensibilities.
Yes.
But let you have any free thought, any humanity that makes you less than perfect or entertaining,
yes,
and they will cannibalize you in a heartbeat.
Yes. Wait, did you see how they were in Serena's comments?
Yeah,
from
Serena,
last season?
Serena, why are you following bullies? And Serena said, girl, fuck you. Leave me out of this. I just follow everybody because it's a good show that made my life better. Like, are you serious? I'm on the road every 4 days. Fuck y'all. I love that.
I do
because
too.
Serena already knows it's a trap.
Exactly.
She's like, girl, no. I am about to get married to Odell Beckham's little brother. Fuck everybody. I don't actually need any of you. Okay? I could buy Instagram if I really wanted to.
I love her.
No, I love her.
I love her so
Soft
much.
girl life for real.
I love her so much.
And I will say this too. It actually makes me appreciate Leah too, because Leah wasn't perfect, but Leah was no hoodah.
No, she was not at all.
What do you think is gonna be the thing that happens, the fallout next season? Let's predict what we think season 8 is going to look like as a result of season 7. I'm going to think that they're going to hire less influencers.
I hope so.
And I have nothing to do. I have no problem with content creators. They just make horrible Love Island people.
Yeah, same. I think we should vote off the producers this season.
I think everybody should be fired, including craft services.
Yeah.
Make pancakes for them. Make the pancakes. I'm tired of pancake game.
No, go back to avocado toast.
I missed avocado toast.
Go back to avocado toast.
You can't undercook avocados.
We don't need pancake gate. We don't need pancake gate, or just back to avocado toast. Everyone gets avocado toast. Call it a day. Move on. Carry on.
Do you think there's a world where it gets worse, where because we're hate watching, like Tyler Perry has no incentive to get better because we hate watch and put him at number 1? Do you think the producer's going to be like, well, you hate us, but we're still number 1?
I don't know. I hope not.
Because they said that they got 1 million votes in the first 6 minutes when they opened the polls after the last episode. Getting 1 million votes in 6 minutes is enough to make anybody be incentivized to continue to have bad behavior. And that's what makes me nervous, is human beings function off of incentive. What incentive do they have to do better? Would somebody have to get hurt? Is that what it would take? Would one of the girls have to be a victim of a hate crime?
That's
for
so
the producers
sad.
No, because Love Island UK, people had to commit suicide before they fixed anything.
Yeah, well, I was just watching Love Island UK, and it was like the bottom ones. UK voted, you're out immediately. UK voted, you're out. You're the last one. That was it. Move on to the next episode. Like that was it. They learned. Like you're out.
Too many dead bodies on their head.
Like you're out. We're just move on to the next one. Like that was it. It's like whoa.
I will say this: is there anything you're watching that's lighter? Happier? Like I want to end on a light note. We're about to wrap up the show. I'm just like, this is heavy.
What am I watching right now? Honestly, no. I'm just waiting for Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion to come back. That reunion's about to be messy.
Yeah, and here's the thing that somebody alleged. I haven't looked into it, so I'm going to say allegedly over and over and over again. Allegedly, they're saying that Kandi and Shamia are Diddy supporters. I'm praying to God that that's just because they're in the industry and that's not actually how they feel or how they move.
Well, we try to leave off not heavy.
Right. I'm sorry. You just happened to say the franchise of the two.
I know.
I love Kandi Down.
Me too.
I love Kandi Down. And Shamia, I was rooting for her. Here's the thing. We're in a time where you have to be political.
Yeah. Because
it's telling you about your decency. And like, how decent of a human are you? And here's the thing that was interesting about Huda's thing about I'm a good person and I'm sorry, is that, okay, let's say you are a good person. You're not a safe person.
But good people don't walk around saying, I'm a good person.
They don't. You're right.
I don't walk around and be like, I'm such a good person. You should be friends with me because I'm a good person. Who does that?
Yeah, some of the biggest manipulators I know
do that.
Are present as good people.
Yeah, because you're like, you don't need to go around presenting it.
The most toxic person you know on social media has a page that's either funny or glamorous or inspirational. And they're the spawn of the devil. So I'm just like, the fact that I know that optics mean nothing these days.
Right.
I'm going to say this. I actually don't care if you are a good person. Though. I think being a good person is irrelevant to how you treat people.
Yeah, same.
If you're a good person,
right,
i.e. we're applauding that you're not Hitler, that's a low bar. If you're not safe, I don't care that you're good about your goodness.
Right.
Because good can only be so far. If you're walking around in a way that's harmful and not course correcting, how good are you really?
Right, exactly.
Well, I'm gonna first of all give a shout out to everybody who lasted this long.
Thank you for staying with
us. Because when the tissues came out, I was like, oh man, this got deeper. This is supposed to be a light and fun episode. Jesus wept, right?
We're so sorry.
Well, if you want to learn about how to be emotionally intelligent, because if you are a Huda supporter, you lack that. Please make sure that you sign up for our final EQ workshop of the year, Own Thy Shift. Monique took the Own Thy Shift workshop.
Yes.
It's fall25.eventbrite.com. Once again, FAL25.eventbrite.com. I'm not doing any more after the one in September. I just need a break. And it's 8 weeks where we get in there and teach you how full of shit you are so that you can actually be safe and not just be a good person.
Amen.
And if you want to find Monique, you can find her where?
On Instagram and Threads at Monique Neville.
And you can find me at Bluecentric.
Yeah.
And on TikTok, because apparently I'm TikToking now.
Ooh.
I know, child.
I call it El Tiki-Taki.
Oh, if I did that, it would feel like I would have to go like this, like
Cairo. El Tiki-Taki.
Tiki-Taki.
El Tiki-Taki.
On TikTok, I'm at Telusma. I don't know why I didn't pick Bluecentric. Probably because I didn't care. And now I have more followers on TikTok than I have on Instagram. That's very awkward.
Ooh.
No, it happened without me knowing. And TikTok don't pay people. It's so
you
cheap.
got to get into their program.
I got into the program. They still don't pay.
You got to over a minute. Girl, I'll help you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm just gonna say this. I love y'all deep, and
love y'all hard.
Recognize that just because something is relatable doesn't mean that it's good.
Amen.
So if you relate to Huda and that's why you're defending her, if you relate to anybody who's full of shit that we've talked about today, relatability does not mean that you were a good person. It does not mean you're a safe person. It does not mean you're an honorable person.
Please take her intelligence class.
Yeah. All right. We love y'all. Bye.
Love you. Bye.